to Istanbul, a city where East meets West, history meets modernity, and every corner has a story to tell. Join me as I explore the rich culture, delicious food, and stunning sights of this incredible city. Landing in Istanbul is always exciting. The energy, the skyline, the hustle and bustle, it's all part of the magic. As we were waiting for my boyfriend's dad to arrive, we decided to take a trip to the hotel to rest up. We bought a bus card from a machine at the bus station and waited patiently for the bus to arrive. Along the way, we got to see our first glimpse of what Istanbul looked like. It seemed to me rural. And after what was a good 30 minutes bus ride, we finally reached our destination. It was intriguing to see the bus stop being marked by just a single pole. By this time, we were a little hungry and stopped by a local restaurant and ordered a meat pide. It was my first time trying this local dish. A meat pide is a traditional Turkish flatbread, often referred to as Turkish pizza. It was very uniquely shaped and had a crispy yet soft dough base topped with minced beef along with onions and tomatoes. A real delicacy in my opinion. After we took a good rest at the hotel, we headed back to the airport to meet his dad. This time, we boarded the coach from the airport to Aksaray, where our Airbnb was. As we got off the coach, there were many others who also got off as well, and everyone seemed to be rushing to get their luggages. And we chanced upon a roadside cart that sold Turkish pretzel, and we bought one just to try. It was pretty much like a pretzel, but with sesame seeds. As we continued on our way to our Airbnb, we had to go through an underpass where we witnessed for the first time many shops selling all kinds of clothes and shoes. We had to take the tram for several stops to get closer to our Airbnb, and I must say, it was a really pleasant ride as the trams were modern and clean. After we hopped off our tram, we took a really long walk to reach our Airbnb. Well, we thought, yay, we can finally rest. But this happens. We were staying on the 4th floor and had to lug our luggages up the narrow spiral staircase. We were all too tired to do anything by this point. But there was no time to waste. We were on a holiday. We went down and took a slow, leisurely walk around our compound where we chanced upon a shop that sold Turkish delights and other Turkish sweets. By evening, we were all so hungry, we tried out a rooftop restaurant, and I must say, the view was spectacular. We also stopped by a mini mart on our way back, and that concludes our first day in Istanbul. The following morning, we took a stroll along the peaceful streets of Istanbul. The sun was shining brightly, glistening the cobbled paths as we walked uphill to the main street.
Up the cobbled path.
As we walked past a Turkish ice cream stall, we thought, why not try Turkish ice cream right here at the heart of Turkey? It was a really interesting experience to play the game with the ice cream vendor.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
And the ice cream was delicious too. We then walked our way towards the obelisk of Theodosius, where there were public taps for us to freshen up.
Is
it? Wow, very cool leh.
I told you.
Very cool.
Our next stop was the Blue Mosque. The Blue Mosque, officially known as the Sultanahmet Mosque, is one of Istanbul's most iconic landmarks. Built between 1609 and 1616, it is famous for its stunning blue scenic tiles that adorn the interior, giving it its popular name. The mosque features 6 minarets, a massive central dome, and an elegant courtyard, making it a masterpiece of Ottoman architecture. It remains an active place of worship, so visitors should dress modestly when entering. Unfortunately for us, as there was a really long queue to enter the Blue Mosque, we decided to just enjoy the view of its exterior. Afterwards, we just hung around the region, just soaking in Istanbul vibes.
Ah, 玩手机，玩手机啊，玩手机。啊，走出去。
我们不要。
Our next stop was the Basilica Cistern. The Basilica Cistern is one of Istanbul's most mysterious and fascinating landmarks. Built in the 6th century during the reign of Byzantine Emperor Justinian I, it was designed to store water for the Great Palace of Constantinople. The vast underground chamber features 336 marble columns, many repurposed from ancient temples, and it is dimly lit, creating an eerie yet enchanting atmosphere. One of its most famous features is the Medusa head carvings, which are placed upside down and sideways, adding to the intrigue of the site. After Basilica Cistern, we visited the Topkapi Palace. Topkapi Palace was the primary residence of Ottoman sultans for nearly 400 years and served as the empire's administrative and political center. The palace is famous for its lavish courtyards, intricate tile work, and an impressive collection of treasures, including imperial jewelry, sacred relics, and the legendary Topkapi dagger. We also got to explore the harem where the Sultan's family lived.
你刚才在做什么？做一次。做一次，你在做什么？刚才？
After visiting the Topkapi Palace, we went to the Hagia Sophia Museum, where we learned much about the history of Hagia Sophia.
OK， 进去。
Hagia Sophia has one of the most fascinating histories in Istanbul. Originally built as a Byzantine cathedral in 537 AD by Emperor Justinian I, it was the largest church of its time and a masterpiece of Byzantine architecture. After the Ottoman conquest of Constantinople in 1453, Sultan Mehmed II converted it into a mosque, adding minarets and Islamic calligraphy. In 1935, it became a museum, and in 2020, it was reconverted into a mosque. Today, Hagia Sophia stands as a symbol of Istanbul's layered history, blending Christian and Islamic heritage. Our last stop of the day was a dinner on a cruise along the Bosphorus Strait, which divides Istanbul into its European and Asian sides.
We are now going for a dinner on the boat.
We were literally on 2 continents at once. Besides the dinner, we could go to the upper deck to enjoy the breathtaking views of Istanbul's landmarks. On the cruise, we got to see local Turkish dances, which was really nice, but what won it all was a baby vibing to the music. And that's all we did on our second day in Istanbul. The next morning, and as usual, we walked up the cobbled path and through the streets of Istanbul. We found a really nice restaurant and decided to have our breakfast there. After our breakfast, we took the metro to Topkapi station, where we took a short walk through Forum Istanbul shopping mall to get to see live Istanbul. Sea Life Istanbul is arguably one of the smaller aquariums I have ever been to. There were several species of fishes, but nothing too intriguing in my opinion. What was special though was their lift system, which I have never seen before.
It's a warm lift. Yay, we reached.
Overall, I would say that the sea life is worthy to visit just to kill off that extra time. However, as of 2025, it is now closed. Afterwards, we spent the bulk of our afternoon at Dolmabahce Palace. Dolmabahce Palace is one of Istanbul's most magnificent landmarks, symbolizing the transition from the Ottoman era to modern Turkey. Built in the mid-19th century, it replaced Topkapi Palace as the primary residence of Ottoman sultans. The palace design blends Ottoman, Baroque, Rococo, and Neoclassical styles, featuring lavish halls, grand staircases, and a breathtaking crystal chandelier in the ceremonial hall. Situated along the Bosphorus, its waterfront views add to its splendor. Inside, visitors can explore ornately decorated rooms, gilded ceilings, and a rich collection of European art, furnishings. By evening, we headed up one of the tallest buildings in Turkey, the Istanbul Sapphire. Located in the business district of Levant, the Istanbul Sapphire features an observation deck that offers a 360-degree view of Istanbul, including the Bosphorus, the Golden Horn, and even the Princess Islands on clear days. The building also has a shopping mall, restaurants, and even a 4D sky ride experience, which provides a virtual helicopter tour over Istanbul's landmarks. However, during our time there, it seemed that the building was under renovation and there were wires dangling from the ceilings everywhere. As we reached the top of Istanbul Sapphire, we were greeted by an amazing view of Istanbul. What was really nice was that there weren't many people up there, so we could get a really nice spot to have tea and watch the sunset. It was a sight to behold. And then we went back to rest for the day. On our final day in Istanbul, it was time for us to pack our luggages and check out of our Airbnb.
Go.
We had breakfast at a local restaurant. On this day, we did not have much to do, and so we just took a walk around the Grand Bazaar of Istanbul. The Grand Bazaar of Istanbul is one of the world's oldest and largest covered markets, dating back to the 15th century during the reign of Sultanahmet II. It spans over 60 streets and houses more than 4,000 shops, offering everything from handmade carpets and jewelry to ceramics, leather goods, and spices. The bazaar is a vibrant hub of culture, history, and trade, where bargaining is a part of the experience. Walking through its maze-like alleys, you'll be surrounded by the sights, sounds, and scents of Istanbul's rich heritage. Overall, we had a really great time in Istanbul, experiencing its deep culture, visiting various mosques and palaces, and even trying out different Turkish cuisines. On our next stop, we're visiting Pamukkale in Denizli, where we would be taking our very first hot air balloon ride. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel.